Archangel Michael says, this is not a coincidence. You felt the shaking in your chest, like thunder muffled beneath your skin. Now the final clock has begun to bleed its seconds into your soul. For too long, you've dismissed the whispers in the night. The same message keeps returning like footsteps down an abandoned corridor. You hear it, you feel it, but you turn away as if it means nothing. The skies are not silent anymore. Clouds are curling like scrolls written in warning, dark and trembling. Your name is written in those clouds, sealed in trembling urgency. A window is cracking open in the unseen realm. What you choose in these next moments will shift everything. God is not asking, He is crying out. Don't mistake this message as just another sign. This is the final moment before something unseen becomes irreversible. You are standing on the edge of what cannot be undone. You know the sensation of danger crawling on your skin. This time, it isn't imagined, it's real, thick like smoke before fire. The room around you already feels colder, doesn't it? The air tastes different because heaven has lowered its breath to meet yours. What has been hidden will unravel like torn lace in a storm. The past you buried is rising with eyes wide open. You skipped the signs once when the car swerved just in time. You ignored the knock when the hallway mirror cracked in two. You even closed your heart when the bird dropped dead at your doorstep. Archangel Michael says, the next 45 minutes are not just time, they are mercy. You are being watched, not just by angels, but by what you thought was gone. And it's not waiting with kindness. A door is creaking open in a forgotten hallway. It has not opened in years, but now the wind is pushing it forward. Behind it, the truth shivers like a cold child in the dark. You thought you locked away the consequences. But the lock is rusted, and the key has turned on its own. Something is coming out, and it remembers everything. You can't run from what you called down with your own silence. You invited delay like a friend and called faithfulness an interruption. Now the invitation has expired, and the guest has arrived. In the stillness of your room, something has shifted. The corners hold more than dust, they hold eyes, waiting. You've entered the hour of divine confrontation. Don't look away now, not this time. This is the moment God has waited for in quiet agony. And He won't be ignored again. You betrayed your own light when you chose comfort over calling. You hid behind routine while angels screamed your name through broken signals. The wound was never in the world, it was in your refusal to listen. A photograph on your shelf just tilted by itself. The one with the person you don't talk about anymore. That soul is part of what's unfolding now. Betrayal doesn't always come with knives. Sometimes it arrives as silence when obedience was needed. And that silence has been echoing louder than screams. God has been trying to reach you through every shattered moment. Every fall, every delay, every dream that decayed in your hand. You weren't being punished, you were being pursued. Ashes are falling from a broken photo frame in the spirit. Each speck carries a memory you refuse to feel. Those ashes are calling your name louder than fire ever could. You think you still have time. But time is not being offered, it's being drained. What's coming isn't patient, and it doesn't knock twice. A pale light flickers in your spiritual window. It is neither moon nor candle, it is warning. A divine force is standing just outside, unseen but waiting. You skipped his call when the child cried in the night. You skipped again when your body begged you to pray. You even skipped when your dream died the exact same way twice. You said you'd come back to him when things calmed down. But the storm you feared is the very one meant to carry you home. Now it's too close to run from and too late to pretend. Listen. You are standing on ground that is shifting like sand soaked in blood. Something ancient is watching, and it does not forgive delay. This is the hour of reckoning dressed as mercy. God's voice is no longer whispering, it's roaring behind the veil. And the veil is about to be torn. The curtains in your life are fluttering though no wind exists. Because spirits are circling, awaiting your final decision. What they bring depends on whether you respond or rebel. You skipped God too many times thinking he'd always wait. But waiting ends where disobedience becomes betrayal. And you are dangerously close to crossing that line. You forgot he cries when you skip him. You forgot his silence isn't absence, it's sorrow. And his sorrow is about to become a sword. The heavens are split wide open above your head. You can't see it, but the air you breathe is woven with urgency. Each breath you take is one closer to exposure or escape. The enemy already knows your delay. It feeds on it, wraps around it, and grows bolder every time you hesitate. But heaven has sent this message as a final torch before the darkness seals. You are marked for something greater, but marks fade when ignored. God has burned his voice into this moment. This is not for later, this is for now. Archangel Michael says the battle for your destiny ends today. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, not when it feels good. Today. Something unexpected is about to break into your atmosphere. It won't knock. It will rip the roof off your denial. Chains are already rattling in places you thought were safe. They are waiting for your yes, or your silence. Only one sets you free. There is a name being whispered in angelic tongues right now. It is yours. And the decision you make in these final minutes decides how that name is spoken again. You have 45 minutes before the door either seals or swings open. God isn't warning to scare you. He's pleading because love always warns before justice arrives. There is no more middle ground. No more delay disguised as discernment. No more mercy hidden in procrastination. The sky is closing over one path and lighting fire to another. You can't walk both. The fire is coming either to burn or to cleanse. You will feel something shift around you soon. A flicker, a gasp, a name spoken in a voice not human. That's your final sign. The world you see is paper-thin tonight. Behind it are judgments, blessings, secrets, and swords. Only those who obey will walk through untouched. Don't hurt God again by skipping this. He's waded through every betrayal, every excuse, every second of silence. Now he stands at the edge of your threshold, glory in his eyes and fire in his breath. He is still willing to change everything. But you must respond before time takes its final step. When the clock strikes, it won't ask for your permission. And now, the final truth must be spoken. You were never meant to lose. The darkness in your bloodline stops with you, if you choose. A blessing wrapped in thunder is hovering over your soul. It can either break you or bless you. Only obedience decides which it will be. A hidden inheritance is ready to surface through divine fire. It will restore what generations lost. But only if you open the door before it's sealed. This is the last knock. This is the final whisper before the shout. This is the sword hanging in the balance of your decision. And if you dare obey in the next breath, your name will be engraved into heaven's courtroom as faithful. And the blessing will fall like rain that remembers every dry year you've endured. Let it fall. Archangel Michael says, the time you thought you had is no longer yours. The final 45 minutes have begun to bleed through the veil. What you do now will echo forever through corridors unseen. The warning came softly at first, a flicker, a nudge, a breath on the back of your neck. But you brushed it away like dust on a mirror. Now the mirror is cracking, and what's inside is ready to step through. You've skipped every pull, every sign carved in shadow and silence. Each time you said, "Not yet," the sky dimmed a little more. Now the darkness is stretching its arms toward you. A door is creaking open in a forgotten hallway. Its hinges scream with memory, its wood breathes secrets. What lies behind it is no longer willing to wait. God is not distant, He is pressing His hand against your heart. But your silence has become a wall of thorns. He bleeds behind it, still reaching. You've mistaken delay for control. But delay is a mask, and behind it, danger has been growing teeth. That mask is falling now, and what's beneath it will consume if you hesitate again. The air around you carries weight you cannot explain. It hangs like curtains soaked in rainwater, ready to collapse. And beneath that fabric, something watches. You've hidden from the divine in routines and excuses. But God does not knock forever. This time, He is ready to break the door if you do not answer. A cold wind has begun slipping under your skin. It doesn't belong to this world, it's the breath of consequence. And it's whispering your name with precision. This moment was prophesied in silence. Not in books, not in sermons, but in your own shattered dreams. Each one was a letter you never opened. You felt the sting when the phone rang and no one was there. You felt the burn when the light flickered without reason. Those weren't glitches, they were signals. The betrayal you buried is surfacing like bones in thawed ground. It never stayed dead, it waited for your final silence. Now it rises with eyes hollow and full of memory. Something unexpected is about to shatter the fabric of your day. Not gently, not softly, but with the scream of unfulfilled purpose. You can feel it now, can't you? God is reaching again, palms open, heart bare. But every time you turned away, a piece of Him broke quietly. This is not about punishment, it's about mourning what could have been. Your name is glowing in the hands of angels. But the glow is flickering, dimming with every missed call. They are holding it tightly, praying you will answer before it fades. There is a silence coming that will not be peace. It will be the absence of what could have saved you. And once it comes, it will not leave. Archangel Michael says this is your final hour to act before the clock bleeds dry. You are standing on sacred ground that will either bless or burn. Your next breath decides which. The danger isn't loud, it slithers beneath familiar things. A voice in a dream. A stranger who knows your name. Look at your hands, they've been trembling for days. Not from fear, but from the weight of what you were meant to carry. You let it drop, and now it cries out from the ground. You betrayed your own destiny when you stopped listening. You closed your ears while heaven wept in the corner. And now heaven is rising with a sword in one hand and a scroll in the other. The scroll has your story written in fading ink. If you delay any longer, it will be rewritten in fire. Not as a tale of triumph, but as a record of regret. The ashes falling from the broken photo frame are not just reminders. They are warnings from the forgotten parts of your soul. Each flake whispers of what you were supposed to become. You were supposed to protect something sacred. But you lost it while chasing comfort. And now what was sacred is coming back, bruised and unrecognizable. The shadows under your bed have shifted. They are no longer just remnants of fear, they are consequences waiting. They stir when you lie down and grow when you close your eyes. The angel assigned to you has begun to weep. Not because you're lost, but because you're choosing to stay lost. Even now, he stands at the edge of your room, wings trembling with grief. Something watches from behind the curtain you never touch. It saw everything, the vow you broke, the path you refused. Now it waits to see if you'll wake before it acts. There is still time, but only enough to obey, not to hesitate. God's voice is not distant anymore, it is in the tremor of your next decision. And the longer you delay, the louder justice walks toward your door. A letter has arrived in the spirit realm with your name scorched across it. It is sealed in divine urgency. You were meant to open it with tears and surrender. Instead, you laughed it off like thunder in the distance. But the storm is no longer distant, it's crawling up your spine. And when it speaks, it will not whisper. The reflection in your mirror is beginning to blur. It doesn't recognize you anymore. Because you've forgotten who you were called to be. What is hidden beneath your floorboards is spiritual, not physical. It pulses, it remembers, and it rises. And when it breaks through, it will demand payment. You are not being punished, you are being cornered by grace. This is mercy disguised as fire. Let it burn what needs to die. There is a sound you will hear in your spirit before the 45 minutes end. It will not be of this world. It will sound like glass breaking underwater. When you hear it, you'll know this is your final call. After that, the choice will be taken from you. And the silence will become permanent. There is a child you forgot. Not flesh and blood, but a promise you never birthed. It stands at the threshold, asking one more time to be acknowledged. Your name is still written in light, but light fades when ignored. God has wept over your delay long enough. Now he moves not in grief, but in glory. This is not a threat, it's a divine unveiling. What you refuse to see is about to show itself. And it does not arrive empty-handed. Behind one door is restoration so deep it will drown your pain. Behind the other, judgment that has waited lifetimes. And both doors are now unlocked. Your bones remember what your mind denies. You were born for war, for fire, for glory. Not for comfort and hiding. The next time your heart skips a beat, listen. That is heaven pushing through the veil one last time. It is not asking, it is commanding. Do not break God's heart again by pretending this isn't real. He stood in every heartbreak, every silence, every collapse. And now He demands your full surrender. This message is your final invitation before something tears through your timeline. It will come suddenly, without mercy for the unprepared. But with blessing for those who kneel now. You still have a chance to reclaim what was stolen. To rewrite the ending with heaven's ink instead of your wounds. But the window is shrinking with every breath. Archangel Michael says this message is sealed in fire and thunder. You were never meant to walk this path alone. But even angels must let go when disobedience becomes rebellion. There is still one moment of grace left. It hangs like a drop of rain in a dead sky. Catch it before it disappears forever. And now, the revelation that will shake your soul: you are the one chosen to stop the curse in your bloodline. The pattern ends with your obedience. From your surrender will rise blessings that were buried for generations. Ancestors cry out for you to say yes. Because your yes shakes the roots of time itself. The next 45 minutes carry eternity's weight. What you do now will either unleash divine favor or eternal silence. Open your spirit, now. Let the fire cleanse. Let the angels move. Let your name rise in heaven as the one who finally answered. And the blessing will fall like rain soaked in gold, breaking curses. Healing blood. Rewriting everything. Archangel Michael says the sands are nearly drained from the unseen hourglass. You've ignored every whisper, every pull that made your heart pause mid-beat. Now time has teeth, and it's closing its mouth around you. You stood at the edge of something holy and stepped back. Not because you didn't feel it, but because you did. And it terrified you more than your own darkness. The clock above your life just cracked. Not broken by accident, but by divine frustration. Because you keep choosing silence over surrender. You felt it earlier, a chill in the hallway when no window was open. That wasn't the wind. That was the moment heaven tried to enter your space and you turned away again. There's a door creaking open in a forgotten hallway of your soul. The sound is hollow, ancient, and full of mourning. Something behind it has waited longer than you've been alive. You've skipped every sign like discarded receipts from a sacred transaction. But heaven doesn't forget. And your debt of obedience has come due. God has tried to reach you through collapse. Through dreams you don't tell anyone about. Through that sharp moment at 3:11 a.m. when your heart jumped for no reason. You were chosen for a divine interception. Not random, not accidental, not spare. But you treated destiny like background noise while staring at distractions. The walls in your house remember your silence. Every time the light flickered, it wasn't faulty wiring, it was warning. Now that warning is about to become a wake-up call with teeth. You keep running to things that don't heal you. all while the healer sits outside, hands on fire, waiting. Don't mistake his stillness for absence. There is something crawling under the floorboards of your life. Not a beast, but a truth you buried too deep. Now it's scratching to be released. God is not angry, He is broken. Every missed moment was a love letter you never opened. Now He is setting fire to the mailbox. You were entrusted with a gift you've never unwrapped. It glows in a corner of your soul, covered in dust and regret. But it's beginning to hum, louder with every skipped sign. A betrayal happened long ago that you never addressed. It sits like ash in your bloodstream, contaminating every sacred thing. Until it's named, it will continue to rot everything you touch. The shadows under your bed have changed. They used to fear you. Now they mock the light you abandoned. Something unexpected is already moving toward you. It doesn't walk like man, and it doesn't speak like angels. It reveals what you tried to forget. You feel it now, your chest heavy, your breath not quite right. It's not anxiety. It's recognition. There's a name you erased from your story that heaven keeps rewriting. You thought that chapter was closed. But it was only paused. The image in your mirror is beginning to flicker. It's not a trick. It's the spirit world reminding you what you're becoming without surrender. Archangel Michael says there are only 45 minutes left before the divine shift becomes irreversible. This is the edge of your own undoing or your breakthrough. You must decide if this moment will birth you or bury you. There's a cold light hanging over your doorway. You've seen it but never spoke of it. That light is divine surveillance. Your name is etched in the throat of time. But the letters are beginning to drip. Once they fall, you'll forget who you were born to be. Every late-night tear was a prophecy. You thought they were breakdowns. They were actually contractions for a spiritual birth you refused to complete. Heaven has waited longer than you deserved. But grace has teeth, and it bites when ignored. This bite will leave scars. That dream where you were falling? It wasn't just fear. It was foresight. Something is coming that will demand your full attention. It will not be polite. It will not knock. The next time something crashes in your home for no reason, listen. That's not the house creaking. That's the veil tearing. God placed a divine alarm inside your bloodline. You were supposed to wake the others. Instead, you fell asleep with them. Now a curse is echoing louder, preparing to erupt. One more skipped sign, and it will. And once released, it won't go back to sleep. You keep pretending your spirit is numb. But numbness is just unexpressed trauma holding your destiny hostage. And it's tired of waiting in the dark. Look around, notice the patterns collapsing. People leaving, things breaking, timing shifting. That's the divine pressure preparing to break your timeline in half. The photograph on your shelf fell for a reason. It wasn't an accident. It was God's final whisper. The ground beneath your choices is beginning to crumble. You thought you were standing still. But you've been sinking slowly this entire time. There's an angel standing near your bed tonight. He doesn't speak. He just holds a sword and waits for your decision. Your lineage carries a secret no one told you. A divine fire hidden generations ago. It chose you as its vessel, but you've sealed the lid. Now that fire is leaking through your dreams. That's why sleep feels like drowning. It's trying to birth what you're refusing to push out. Something sacred is limping toward you. It's covered in the mud of your rejection. And yet it still wants to heal you. The calendar on your wall has already marked the day. You think you're safe. But heaven sees what's hidden in the hour you've ignored. Every time your chest tightens without reason, it's not stress. It's spiritual resistance. Something inside you is trying to scream. The silence around you is alive. It's not empty, it's listening. And it knows you've heard this call before. This isn't the first time. But it is the last time you'll be given the choice. After this, the choice will make itself. There are feathers falling in the spirit realm. Not of peace, but of war. Your angel is preparing for what's coming. God stands on the edge of your life with trembling hands. Not because he's weak, but because he knows the cost of your no. And he still offers yes. The people you think are harmless may carry daggers. Not in their hands, but in their words and spirits. Watch carefully, betrayal always dresses like comfort. Something inside your house is out of place. You feel it in your spine, but you keep ignoring it. That thing will speak soon. And when it does, it will reveal what's been hidden behind your walls. The thing that's been sabotaging every step. The secret pact made in your bloodline before you were born. Archangel Michael says the countdown is not symbolic, it's real. Heaven is moving. And earth is shaking. If you do not act, something precious will be taken. Not in rage, but in grief. And once it's gone, no prayer will bring it back. The light in your hallway flickered again just now. That was your spirit flinching. It's warning you, again. You don't need another sign. You are the sign. And if you skip yourself, you skip everything heaven built around you. This is your moment of rupture or redemption. Your silence will write one. Your obedience will write the other. The next unexpected thing you encounter will not wait for you to be ready. It carries weight. And that weight is measured in truth. You are standing between mercy and judgment. Both have swords. But only one has healing in its blade. Do not wait for another disaster to finally cry out. Because this next one won't come to shake you. It will come to take something from you. God is not playing games with your future. He's been holding back a flood. And your yes is the only dam left. Here is the revelation: the curse in your family ends not through your strength, but your surrender. You were always the chosen breach. When you say yes, truly, finally, heaven will shatter the chains. Chains made in shadows, worn by blood, tied in generational silence. And glory will pour through the cracks. Every betrayal will be reversed. Every secret will be dragged into light. And you will rise clothed in fire and crowned in favor. But only if you open the door in the next 45 minutes. Because after that,